Okay, so hi, this is a quick teaching video. I'm making this because I know there are a number of students who are absent right now, and even if you're trying your best to work independently, it sometimes can be a little bit tricky making sense of all the slides if you're not in class. So I'm sharing my screen from here just so you can see how you would get to the stuff that I'm going to go over. So we're in Teams, or the English Independent Learning channel. This is a Q3 slideshow. This is where you're going to come anytime you miss class because you can see I make the date so big. You can see, oh, yeah, week 1, 11 through 14th of January. So I'm going to hit slideshow so that we can go over this. And yeah, that'll be big enough. All right, so that's my little welcome slide. Let's move on. So your homework, two things, right? Two things. We've got the slice of my life vignette. I'm going to talk about that a little bit just to make sure you kind of understand what the deal is with that and what vignette is. And then the no red ink, that's not a very tricky one. Anybody who, did those homeworks last quarter, it's kind of the same thing. The only difference is that you need to enter the new class code, okay? And if you need help with that, you want me to hop on a call with you, just let me know. Goal is to understand vignette as a writing genre and to write a short narrative vignette. I don't expect that you finish that all in this time. That's why it's not due until next Friday at the end of online day, basically. So this is just giving you protocol on the warm up. If you did that on your own, great. But this is just generally what you would do. If you haven't done that on your own yet, you could use this video and then just pause, give yourself time to do that warm up and then write things down and then move on and then hit play on the video again. Why would you do that? Well, if you're absent because of, for medical stuff, COVID or whatnot, your participation, like that won't affect your grade in a bad way. I would excuse it. But that means you would be missing out on the points. So it would be good for your grade. And then also these little writing things are really good for just continuing to practice making the effort of taking your thoughts and putting them into words on paper. So you pick a sentence, a phrase, and a word. Phrase, more than one word, less than a sentence, right? A sentence is only a sentence if it begins with a capital letter and ends with period, question mark, or exclamation. Oh, other important thing to remember, you got to jot down your reasons, all right? It's not just enough to like read this excerpt and then say, oh, my word is Spanish. But like, so what? Why? So please make sure you explain that. I will read this aloud to you. And again, this is from The Circuit. That's a memoir by Francisco Jimenez. What is a memoir? A memoir is a book that's a story, okay, a narrative, but it's from real life, somebody telling a story from their real life. The difference between an autobiography and a memoir is usually shorter, and a memoir is generally focusing on just a certain period in someone's life. If someone writes an autobiography, that implies that they're telling like their whole life story. The Circuit in particular is a memoir, so a narrative, a series of narratives, right, like a book about the author's childhood experience. Okay, so you're going to be looking for sentence, phrase, and word. It was Monday, the first week of November. The grape season was over, and I could now go to school. I woke up early that morning and lay in bed, looking at the stars and savoring the thought of not going to work and of starting sixth grade for the first time that year. Around 8 o'clock, I stood by the side of the road waiting for school bus number 20. When it arrived, I climbed in. Everyone was busy, either talking or yelling. I sat in an empty seat in the back. When the bus stopped in front of the school, I felt very nervous. I looked out the bus window and saw boys and girls carrying books under their arms. I put my hands in my pant pockets and walked to the principal's office. When I entered, I heard a woman's voice say, "May I help you?" I was startled. I had not heard English for months. For a few seconds, I remained speechless. I looked at the lady who waited for an answer. My first instinct was to answer her in Spanish, but I held back. Finally, after struggling for English words, I managed to tell her that I wanted to enroll in the 6th grade. After answering many questions, I was led to the classroom. All right, so this is just like a little slice of writing, right? Just like a little bite. We're just getting back into things, right? So if you're following along with this video and you haven't like skipped past this part already, then you would pause and then find a sentence, select a sentence, phrase, and a word that stand out to you, maybe because they're beautiful, maybe because you think they capture the heart of that whole piece, whatever it is, and then write down your reasons. Okay, so let's talk vignette. If you're following along from home because you are not able to be in class this week, I would expect that you're taking notes on this part. Take this as an opportunity, a learning opportunity to keep practicing the art of not writing, not copying everything down exactly word for word. Start trying to develop your own shorthand. Now, that doesn't mean I want you to just write the word vignette on your page and say, oh, okay, I'm done. I wrote vignette. That means I took notes. No, but what I'm saying is if there's a way that you can shorten anything but still retain all the meaning, do that, okay? So a vignette is the word, kind of like lasagna or like enye in Spanish, okay? So you say vignette. You do not say vignette because that would be like saying lasagna because, spoiler alert, vignette comes from French for little vine. So if it sounds a little European, that's because vignette comes from French. All right. It's a short fiction or nonfiction work focusing on one particular moment. Okay, it's short. If it's long, it's not a vignette by definition. Kind of like with salad, I don't know. What makes a salad a salad? It has to have fresh stuff, right? Like soup is not salad, right? If it's hot and liquid, it's not a salad. In the same way, a vignette is only a vignette if it's short and if it focuses really just on like one moment. Okay. It could be fiction, like just imagined, or it could be from your life, like that piece we just read from the circuit. Vignettes give an impression about an idea, character, setting, mood, aspects, or object. By mood, like in kind of like modern plain language, we would say vibe. It is not something with a whole plot, okay? So when we read short stories, first quarter, like way back in August, September, whatnot, and we did a little plot diagram, like, oh, this happened, and now here's the rising action. That is not a vignette, okay? A vignette is just a carefully crafted verbal sketch. And that you should have that in your notes, okay? That will come up again. That would be something on an open note test. Okay, so a verbal sketch. And what's a sketch like? Sketch is only so big, right? And it's only so complicated, right? A sketch is different from a mural. A mural takes like days, months, whatever, lots of people, lots of wall space, but you do a sketch on a sketchbook or a napkin, a piece of paper, right? A little scrap. So it's a verbal sketch. So basically you're painting a picture with words, but just a little picture, a sketch. However, just because it's a sketch does not mean it's messy. It is a carefully crafted verbal sketch. So that means like every word is important. Every sentence, every phrase matters. It matters even more because it's so short. I'm not going to show this right now because you are more than capable of clicking play on here. But I highly recommend, I encourage you to watch this short clip. It's less than 2 minutes from Fantastic Mr. Fox. Wes Anderson is one of my favorite directors because he carefully crafts the worlds of his films. So this is stop motion animation, but it's not like a Disney kind of stop motion animation. I don't know. You can click on it. I'll show you like 1 second. I'm fast forwarding like this because then like, okay, so like these are all these like little moments of time. So what makes this a vignette, like film vignette? Because it's this little slice of life. Is there very much plot in this little 2-minute clip? No, it's just this moment with Fox sitting at the breakfast table, and then his son, who's a little bit unique, is kind of moving in and out of the room, getting ready. And then his wife, the mom fox, is helping get him breakfast, and they're just kind of having a little conversation. Little moment in time, just a little slice of life. All right, this is the last slide of notes. Again, it comes from French for little vine. So why write one? Why would writers use this vignette? Writers use this device to explore a character and describe the setting of a scene. Some of these things are linked, not these, but so character and setting, not plot. Okay, it's not about plot. It doesn't have to be action-packed. It can be as simple as looking around your bedroom and like looking at photos on the walls, and like maybe if somebody recently like painted their room and you kind of did some decorating, like just describing all that in detail. And then maybe kind of like looking back on the time, if you had an experience deciding how you were going to decorate your room, or painting with your dad or some other family person, that kind of thing. Okay, just a little scene. They always include imagery and often evoke emotion, right? Because if we're writing a vignette, like from our own life experience, from like a memory, from a photo or something, a lot of times we're not going to remember like, oh, it was exactly 11:59 a.m. and I was 17 inches away from the next person at the dinner table, whatever. Like, not all those like specific numbers, but in our memories, right? We know how we feel or how someone else made us feel. And maybe we could close our eyes and like picture ourselves in that room again, or imagine how delicious that California burrito was, something like that. Vignettes can be found in all sorts of longer narrative texts, or they can be short pieces on their own. So we're going to write just a little standalone vignette, just a little slice of your life, right? Just a little bite, like chicken nuggets worth of writing. Not a whole 20 piece, right? That's like if you were to write like kind of more of a full-on memoir of your life, then it could be a collection of vignettes, like a 20-piece chicken nugget. This is just one little nugget, just a bite of your life. So if you want to kind of do your own check for understanding, you would like say to yourself, or like go find your mom, find your dog, and say, hey, I want to tell you, this is what a vignette is, and this is what the purpose is. So look through your notes and say, can I say that? What is a vignette? What's the purpose? For us too, I should say, just to add, if you want to add into your notes things that I'm just saying out loud, why are we writing vignette? We are going to write a couple of vignettes so that we can kind of build up our creativity, build up our power and our capacity to create imagery, to really to paint pictures with words, moving toward our end goal of writing a longer personal narrative or fictional narrative at the end of the quarter. Okay, here's another vignette. I'm not going to read this all out loud. You can pause if you just want to see another example, right? So you'll get two in writing and one in film. This is from the very first page of The Giver. It's a novel that we are going to be starting to read in a couple weeks. And again, you're just kind of looking for details about like, what can I understand about the setting? What do I know about a character? In this one, the main character is the protagonist named Jonas. And then what's the mood? What's the vibe? All right, so here are your ideas. If you didn't want to hear all my teaching, maybe you just kind of like skipped forward to this point. A slice of life. So you're going to choose from the following ideas. Could there be more? Yes, but I want to give you choice, but then also limit your choice so that you don't get just like lost in it. Don't write all of this down in your notes. I would say write down show and tell, taste of the past, and snapshot of life. So in class, we did some just really quick brainstorming after I explained each of these. So for show and tell, you're basically going to choose an object from your life and write about it. Simple as that, right? Like show and tell, like maybe you did that when you were in kindergarten or something. You're going to do that, but in writing. So you can like look around your room, look around your house, look around your backyard or whatever. Choose an object and write about it. You don't have to tell like this long elaborate story, because again, this assignment is 250 word max. So short and sweet, but make it very sweet, very careful, right? No typos, no use your power powerful words, right? Don't just say, oh, I had a nice time. Like really get descriptive, okay? Use all your senses that you can. Taste, touch, smell, sight, sound, all of it, okay? So then the next option is taste of the past. And so that's going to be about food. It could be like this says here, think of a time when someone you loved cooked for you. It could be interesting too. Maybe you have a taste in your mind of maybe something that you cooked for the first time. Like I can remember I was in about 5th or 6th grade. The first time I remember making dinner for my family all on my own was spaghetti, right? And I like made menus, even though the only thing on the menu was spaghetti, but right. So that could be a taste of the past. Or it could be if there's like a certain restaurant that's really like special to you or to your family that you go to for only just like for special occasions or things like that. For Christmas Eve, a few years ago, my family started a tradition. We go to this Japanese barbecue place. So that's like, it's something I really look forward to. And it's the only time we go, just once a year, only on Christmas Eve. It's awesome. So like it says, you could close your eyes, try to bring back the smell and the taste of the food. What's the texture, right? Like are there crunchy things? Are there sour things, sweet, salty, whatever? So you would just write about that. Or snapshot of life. And like it sounds, you would write a vignette from a photo that you're in. What's the story of the moment in time captured in that photo? Before, after, or what's just beyond the frame, right? So what don't we see that's in the photo? We could talk a little bit about that. So those are your 3 options. Show and tell. Focus on an object, something that you could hold in your hand, possibly. Taste of the past, a food type of memory, and snapshot of life. It's going to be from a photo. If you use photo, I would love, 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 love it, if at all possible, if you could include the photo in your document. Okay. That would be amazing. Because we're doing this creative writing and like sharing our own narratives, creating our own narratives this quarter, I want us to keep sharing writing with each other, because that's what writers do, right? Writing is meant to be shared so that we can share ourselves and understand ourselves better and each other better. But all of that to say, planning on gathering some of the like best of the best of the writing that we all do this quarter and putting it together in something that we can print out, maybe even publish, kind of trying to figure that out. So those are your 3 options. It would be at this point that you would have a little break. So if you're really following along and trying to do class on your own, this is a point where you can just like take a 5-minute break, because we've been going for a while. Okay. Oh my God, I love this timer. It's so awesome. Okay, but I'm skipping it for now. And here's just a little encouragement for you. Okay. If you just feel anxiety about the act of writing and seeing a blank page and stressing out, everyone is a writer. You are a writer all over the world in every culture. Human beings have carved into stone, written on parchment, birch bark, or scraps of paper, and sealed into letters their words. Creating with words is our continuing passion. So do something that you're going to be excited about, okay? Like something that you love, whether it be a food that you love, something like an object like in your life that you love, like your blanket you've had for as long as you can remember, a plushie that you grew up with, like since you were a little baby, anything like that. But have it be something that you love, that you can just sit, or a photo that's like, oh my gosh, what a cool memory, what an interesting time. Take that and just write about it and use your best, most powerful descriptive language. Not long though, okay? Only 250 words. And if you're not sure what 250 words looks like, this is about 230 words. Okay, so it's like 2 paragraphs, right? If you made really short paragraphs, maybe it would be 3. If you made really long paragraphs, it would be more. But that gives you an idea. Okay, so 250 words is going to look like maybe 2 paragraphs or so. But you're mainly focusing on how can I give detail? How can I make another human being feel like they're in that room where it happened? Whatever it is that happened to you. How can I make someone feel like, oh my gosh, this food is so delicious. My grandma's sopes, my mom's pozole, the Japanese barbecue, whatever it is. And then just one little note, one little note about no red ink. That's the class code, and you're going to be adding Q3 English 7. For anybody who's already been regularly doing no red ink, what you could do is just log in like normal, and then you're going to need to go to my classes. It's like you go to a drop down menu on the top right hand side, and then figure out where it says my classes, and you're going to drop your old class and then add this class, Q3 English 7. So everyone's going to be in the same no red ink class. I'm hoping it will just make it a little less confusing, and a little bit easier for me to grade and score late work when that happens. And this is the name of that assignment, week 1-2, capitalization basics plus articles. You don't have to read articles. Articles are the words like a, and the, right? It's just indefinite or definite articles. There's a little lesson attached, but I just wanted to kind of give you a heads up about that. And that is all we have. So I will stop screen sharing, and that's it. I really hope this helps you. Please come back to it. If somebody did attend class, but now you're sitting there writing vignettes, and maybe you didn't feel like it was that important to take a ton of notes at the time, and now you're kind of like, what's a vignette again? Use this resource as well. Okay, that's it. Take care.